Good afternoon. Welcome to Midweek Builds. And we have an absolute beast of a set to build today. Another set that's been sitting in my collection for a good number of years. So I just had it all shrink wrapped just to sort of protect the box rather than storage. So I'll just take it all off here. Crazy. Well enough. A few more layers to go and then we're good. I also just realised I don't have my knife on me, so I'll have to go and grab my knife and then I can crack this bad boy open and I can get a good look at what's in the box and then get building the set as well. Right, there's a wee bit on the bottom here. That's the most of it. A few bits are just getting stuck, I think, to the seams. Anyway, there we go. So that's what we're building today. And I'm just going to go grab my knife. 1 second. Alright, that's me back. Pretty fun 1876 says hello, we built Ninjago. Pretty fun 1876, I am indeed. We're cracking open some Ninjago today, so we have this set from the Ninjago Legacy series, Ninjago City Gardens. So this was the third in the sort of modular style Ninjago builds. We have the Ninjago City, which was the first one that came out a good few years back now. That was followed up by Ninjago City Docks, which is just sitting up atop this unit here. And obviously we've got Gardens, which retired a couple of years ago. And the most recent one is Markets, Ninjago City Markets, which I don't own yet, but I'm waiting to see if it's discounted before the end of the year. And then there's the most recent one, I can't remember what it's called. So this is the third in the line anyway. Pretty fun 1876. So you bought a £200 set, a really big one. Which set was it? Or was it this set you're talking about and you got it £200? So I'm just going to crack open the set here. This one also comes with a sort of one-off minifigure as well, a golden woo. I think sort of the year that these Ninjago sets were releasing. Not quite Scottish, nearly there. Across the water, a wee bit from Scotland. Yeah, so whenever this wave of Ninjago sets come out, a number of them had a golden minifigure in it. And this one has the golden woo figure. So there's really at the front of the box anyway. Well, you can see the build in its entirety there. Cool sort of Ninjago style backdrop and stuff in there too. Brick Stuff said hi, how you doing, man? Hope you're well. Yes, 1 second, pretty fun, getting there. I'm just working my way around the box. There's a wee picture on the back of the box showing each of the sections of the city sort of lifted up, so you can obviously appreciate that the whole thing separates at each layer and it's somewhat modular. There's also a little kind of temple garden on the side, and there are the minifigures there. So you can see all of the minifigures, including the sort of limited golden woo figure as well, which is only obviously available in this set. So Wukong says hello. Hey man, how you doing? You're very welcome, Brickstuff. Thanks for dropping by. Make sure folks to give us a wee thumbs up while you're here. It will be much appreciated. Hack you can go on and subscribe or not, try to you. But a thumbs up at the very least would be awesome. Just going to tip the contents out here. This could go terribly, or it could all just sit very neatly atop. Ah, not too bad. So most of the bags look like they're inside this secondary box here. So I'm just put that box to the side. I want to just do a wee bit of organising of the bags here as well, because there's quite a few in the set, and we'll just need to go through this a little bit more straightforward. I'm actually going to tip this box out as well while I'm at it. We're going to be overcome here with bags. Lego Motion asks what Lego is that. Lego Motion, we are building Ninjago City Gardens set 71741. I think this is from like 22 maybe? 2022. So right now I'm just getting everything tipped out onto the table. And then I knocked over the crusty burger side. Super smooth. Right, I've just got tons of manuals and bags and all sorts on my page here. Elioi asked, where did you get that? I actually bought this direct from Lego some time ago now. Sorry, I've just knocked a few pieces over here. Just want to grab them. I'm missing one, but I'll have a look for it later. Yeah, I bought this direct from Lego maybe 3 years ago. It's now a retired set. It's obviously been superseded by a number of newer Ninjago sets, Ninjago garden sets. So this has just been sitting in my collection for a couple of years. I think it's from 22 or 23. Let's have a look here. 21 actually. 2021, but it retired Christmas of 23. So yeah, it's a pretty cool set. They obviously have a continued line of these Ninjago City sets that come out. There's been two since this one, the Ninjago City Markets, and then there's the most recent one, I can never remember the name of it, but it's the one that has the neck being built in it as well. So it comes on two base plates, one 32 by 32 dark bluish grey base plate, and one 16 by 32 dark bluish grey base plate. Set them out of the way. I just really want to try and organise the bags over here. I'm just going to throw them all down in numerical order as best I can. And then once I get the bags organised, we can obviously get building. There's quite a few bags to be fair. That's very apparent. 12. There's going to be a lot of these trans blue tiles to go in then, because there's a big water area. Bag number 18. Oh, that's cool, like a motion net. Thank you very much. Do you, by any chance, do stop motions or? An absolute mountain of bags here, folks. So apologies, this is just taking me a wee second to get these all sorted through. I'm not sure how many pieces are in this. There's no piece count on the box itself. We'll have a wee look on the computer in a wee second. I suspect it's comfortably in the 3,000 to 4,000 range. Still haven't found the early bags, the ones that I want, so that I can actually start building. Finally getting down to some single digits. There's bag number 2, so I'll set that one over there so it's a bit closer to hand for when I need it. One bag number 1. Three, 4, 11. Another bag number 1. So we've got 2 bag number 1. 9. Nearly done, nearly done. 6. Whoa, there's lots of cool funky pieces in there. And number 10. Number 8. And finally bag number 5. So that's all the bags sorted then in the numerical order. Just got this monster of booklet packed open up as well. So it comes with 3 booklets. In total we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 44 bags in total, numbered up to 25, so just a few, to say the least. I need to kind of organise myself a little bit here once I sort of get on top of things, because I'm sort of in camp then. I also knocked over, I have been building the Lego Krusty Burger on a previous stream, and I knocked the sign over along with a number of the minifigures whenever I was sorting through stuff, so pieces disappeared on me, but I'll find it. Yes, Lego Motion, a lot of bags to sort through. It is a pretty hefty set, so that's not really surprising that there's as many as that, but even still, a lot of plastic as well. And then we have the instructions. So there's another nasty surprise in here. Anyone who's watched my streams will know how I feel about stickers. These Ninjago sets, if there's one major negative about them, it is they come with an absolute ton of stickers. So in total, we have, my goodness, 66 stickers across 3 sticker sheets. So there's sticker sheet number 1. So we have just lots of kind of advertisements and billboards and pricing boards and things like that. Sticker sheet number 2 then, so again just lots of, I'm not entirely sure what they are, but they look like maybe some picture frames and stuff like that. And again there's so many kind of menu items and bits and pieces, looks like some mobile phone screens and stuff like that. And then the final sticker sheet then as well. I think these are all maybe transparent stickers, so yeah, we've got a lot of stickers. And then we have 1, 2, 3 construction manuals. So that's the instruction manuals there. They're all all just presenting the set itself from the front then in all its glory. So nice colours. I do really like the colours. I love this the kind of print in behind the set. It also comes with a free poster. I thought it was going to be some big massive thing, but it's not really that big at all. So I didn't actually realise that you got this, but you get this cool wee free Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu poster. I'm not really a Ninjago person, so I don't really know a huge amount about it, so I don't know who these characters are, or much about what they reference or this, that and the other, but if anyone's out there, you can educate me as we go along, but it's cool wee sort of inclusion anyway, so let's get building. So I suspect early days, what it also does, which is very cool, there's a language translator, so all the signs have Breezy Bills says hi, how you doing Breezy Bills, how are you? Thanks for dropping by. Remember to give us a wee thumbs up. Yeah, so basically everything on the Ninjago set, on the billboards, on the signage, well most of the stuff is in a Ninjago language. I'm not sure if the language is an actual real life language or if the language is exclusive to Ninjago. But what they also do in here is give you like a little translator within the instructions, so you can see there, that's just a wee translator showing you the inbuilt lettering and what that corresponds to in English. So that's a nice little touch as well. I like that. Alright, so bags 1 to 5 build. So booklet number 1 takes you up to bag number 10. So the first 5 bags are going to build sort of the base, all the tiling, the plate work. There's a tree and then like a stand. And then bag 6 to 10 builds the first layer of buildings, just a couple of buildings, and then the next sort of level of the structure, sort of like the walkway and the base for the next buildings to go on top. So we'll crack right on then. Starting off with our base plate. So anyone that's watched any previous streams, you know that I don't usually build on base plates. I usually build on like second party 32 by 32 plates. I probably ought to do that. I have them actually sitting here, they're by Strictly Brick. I probably ought to do that, but I'm just going to start straight on the base plate here. Not sure why I've taken that decision, but I have. Breezy Bix, or Breezy Builds rather, it has a translation key. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm sure they all have that, all these big sets, but I've never really sort of experienced them being built from new in box, because the 2 previous ones had retired before I had got the opportunity to buy them, so I ended up buying them second hand, and they'd already been built and reverse built, so I didn't actually pay a huge amount of attention to the instruction manuals when I was doing it. I'm not even entirely sure if I'm going to add any of the stickers in, but I'll see how it feels and going along. I generally tend not to with some of these sets because there's a lot of stickers, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to sort of display it and present it. Sometimes I just leave the stickers off. Obviously they add a lot of detail to the set, but I don't think it takes away too much from it by not having it. So we're going to cross that bridge as we come along. Anyway, so we start off with bag number 1. So 2 bags, a couple of small internal bags. There's a lot of parts in these first 2 bags, so I'm sort of cracking on quite quickly to the build. Start off actually with the wood minifigure. So I'll build him, and then when I have him built, I'll bring him over to the camera and let you have a little bit of a look at him. He has his gold staff, so he's an entirely gold figure, all in that nice lacquered gold, and that includes his beard, his clothing, everything. I'm not sure if there's anything unique to him beyond that, but I'll let you have a little look at him. I'll bring him over to the camera. In fact, and do you know what, I'll finish, because he comes on there's actually a little stand for him as well, and there's a nice little sort of printed sort of circular tile commemorating 10 years of Ninjago. So I'll put the whole thing together and then I'll bring it over and let you have a little look at it. And then we can crack on with the main build from there. This is quite nice because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this figure, if I was going to hold on to him or move him on, because there'd be a little bit of value in him given sort of the fact that he was only available in this set, and this being a slightly pricier set compared to some others. So I wasn't sure if I hold on or not, but he comes in this nice little display. So I'll build him, and I'll maybe display him somewhere atop the set, maybe as like a wee statue or something like that. I don't know. So that just clips in there, and then that goes on there, and then Woo goes on top. So I'll bring us over to the camera now. Let you have a little closer look at him. Alright, so here we have, so for any Ninjago fans, this will mean a whole lot more, but there we have our 10-year anniversary celebratory golden Woo. So you can see some lovely printing on the torso and the legs, all obviously gold and sort of slight variations. There is a wee bit of face printing as well. It's quite hard to see, but he has his beard and his big bushy eyebrows and stuff, and then the kind of plait on the back. And again, there's a bit of printing on the back of the torso, nothing on the legs, nothing on the arms. So there we go. I'll just set him there then. If anyone can give me any insight into the characters and stuff, then please do. I'm not at all familiar with Ninjago, so I don't know much about them. But I just really like these larger sets. I just think they all look so good together. I have the Ninjago city built as well, but it's in a different room, in a different location. It's actually in my Lego room at present. The room itself. Sorry, I forgot to give away his staff, cape and staff. There we go. There we are. And then, as I previously mentioned, the docks are just up there, up behind me. I think it's maybe, well, I think it's my favourite of them, but this one looks pretty superb. So this might change my mind. So as with them all, they come on like a sort of water base. So we'll build up all the plate work, and then it gets tied over with the translucent 1x2 tiles, and then that just gives you the impression of depth and sort of colour and whatnot within the water, which is nice. Struggling to find a piece. Might be in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on building away here for a little bit. I might be a little bit on the quiet side, but if anyone has any questions or anything, do drop us a wee shout down in the chat. Any Ninjago fans out there, it's like I said, it's a theme I've never really embraced. I've never really been particularly into it. However, some of the sets that they produce are fantastic. I can't deny that. But it's just not one that's ever really resonated with me. I'm not really into sort of mechs and stuff. And I'm not massively familiar with the series or anything. I've never watched it, and it doesn't really interest me at all, so I've no sort of real draw to the characters. Lego Motion, how long will this take me to finish? Your guess is as good as mine. I tend to build a wee bit slower on streams. Well, just depending on what's going on in the stream itself, I suppose. I should think, you know, I could get this built over a few streams, so maybe 6 hours or so. Somewhere around that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know exactly how many pieces there are, and I don't really know the nature of the build. It doesn't look like there's a particularly high volume of large elements, so you know the piece count is quite high, and I think for the most part it's going to be smaller pieces, so it is going to take a wee bit longer to build. Like, let's just do a quick check here on Brickset and see what the piece count is. I do, like, I'm a relatively quick builder generally. Probably more so when I'm, you know, just building on my own offline. But I do kind of rattle through sets. I'm just always so keen to get to the end result. I love just seeing that completed piece. And that kind of really spurs me on sometimes to rattle through sets. So. What have we got here? 71741. Ninjago City Gardens. Oh wow, okay. So 5,685 pieces. So that's a lot of pieces. So yeah, it's gonna take a little while, but I would say maybe over the course of 3 or 4 streams I should get this finished. I'll have sort of a good idea by the end of today how long it's going to take. Are you building any sets at the minute yourself? So we're really working on the foundations here, and it is very much brick, which obviously speeds the process up a touch. Right. Okay, so that's us up to the end of page 13. Like I said, at the minute it's very heavy on the sort of laying down the foundations, so not a lot of detail going on in yet. So it's kind of hard to like really visualize what the set's going to become at this stage, but I kind of think the way the foundations of these sets are done is fantastic. I kind of love how they appear and how they look. I like the way the water's done. They're real busy. got like a real, it kind of feels like it's alive, you know, it sort of feels like an actual living city. And just, yeah, using the different shades of sort of black and green, and sort of like black, dark green and normal green, and a bit of dark tan tiling going in. And like I said, whenever the translucent base going over the top of those, and it just gives that sort of impression of sort of murkiness and depth and stuff to the water, which is good. It is quite painful knowing I'm going to have to, at some point, probably strip this all back off again, all off the base plate to put onto a solid plate. But that'll be a wee project for another time, because all of the Ninjago sets are going to be in the same kind of boat in that regard, the city and the docks. And I don't really know exactly how I'm going to present or display or what exactly I'm going to do with these sets yet, so I don't know if they're going to feature in the layout or not. I had sort of anticipated perhaps having a little sort of Ninjago section in my layout, almost like a Chinatown or something like that. And these would be sort of great sort of foundation sets for that, because they would create a lot very quickly. A lot of 1x3 light bluish greys here. There's surely a case for some 1x6s at the very least. I would have kept the piece count down a little bit. Or even 1x4s. This sort of quantity they're being used, you could have a few 1x4s in there as well. So it must have like a wee dock or something going over here. There's a couple of nice wee brown sections put in that resemble probably the sort of legs of maybe a little jetty or something like that. That's cool. And then just a few more little details. So these sets are built similar to the Lego modulars, where they include Technic pins and the bricks with the pinholes, so that they can be joined together and sort of displayed as sort of one big unit. So you can see the pinhole just goes in on, there's one on this side and one on this side. I think this is kind of designed really as a corner build. So there's another way to make you feel compelled to buy them all, isn't it? And there's like some piping or something going in here. There's a little bit of detailing in sort of underneath. I suppose this will all be hidden eventually by boardwalks or pavements or something like that, but it's still nice to include some of these wee details kind of within the build. Maybe there's going to be like an access point or something that allows you down in, and there's a wee bit of storytelling I suppose that can be done there. just a sort of continuation of that pipe then over into this little section of the build. Okay, there's something very interesting going in here. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe like it looks like a generator, or maybe some sort of sewage equipment or something like that. So it's using this rather interesting piece here. So we'll sort of build it in, and I'll have a wee look and see if I can kind of determine what exactly it's trying to represent. These wee panels just slip in around the side of it then, just to kind of encase it. There's a few wee, it's the actual sort of central core of that element is 2 bricks wide, or 2 studs wide, but there's 2 bits that sort of pop out the side, which has like axle holes and stuff like that. Take up another half stud, so just use the wee panel pieces because they're indented, and that just allows you to sort of wall off that area and enclose them as well. I think it is, but it looks like it's just meant to replicate maybe sewage or something. So that's the wee section there that I've been building. So that little round technic element then is just kind of held in place in there. It's sort of hard to see, isn't it? And I think it just kind of represents like a sort of sewage or something like that. See, there might be some more detail added in as we go along. It'll make it a bit clearer. And anyone just dropping by, thank you for stopping off. We're just building a Ninjago set here today. So it's the first Ninjago set I've built in a considerable time, to be honest. It's a significant set. It's the Ninjago City Gardens. It's from 2021. It's set number 71741, and it's, I can't remember the exact piece count, but it's well over 5,000 pieces, so it's a hefty build. And it's kind of part of it's almost like a Ninjago sub-theme really, the Ninjago City style sets. This was the third in the line, and it's the third one actually that I picked up of still the more recent two I haven't bought yet. But I will be getting them because I want to continue sort of buying this theme and sort of creating a cohesive Ninjago City style section of my layout. Yeah, we're still pretty early on in the build here. Just working on I suppose it's like the base layer almost, laying down the foundation, putting down some brickwork and plate work, you know, for the water area, and then so the whole kind of premise of these sets is they're all sort of built around water, so they're all of the actual areas that the minifigs can use and where the buildings and all are on kind of like platforms. or walkways. So the rest of the set then is very much water based. So it's just a whole lot of brickwork to kind of lift the sort of main structure up from the water, and then a lot of plate work just to give the water itself some colour and character. And then we'll have an absolute mountain of tiling to do on top of all this, but that's fine. It looks good when it's done, so. The black plate obviously represents deeper water. The green, sort of murkier, shallower water, and then the dark green, that sort of transition between the two. A lot of these sort of techniques I'll absolutely be taking forward into my own builds whenever I sort of get around to doing them. I think it's a nice way for sort of creating like artificial depth in water. It certainly gives it the impression of being deeper than what it obviously is. It's a bit more authentic looking too whenever you have the different colours representing different depths. So now wait until we've finished the entire bottom layer. I've got a wee bit of blue in here as well, so I presume that's going to represent slightly cleaner water, maybe. And again, we've just got these little Technic bricks with the pinholes, go the whole way around, so there's two on each side, and then that just allows you to join these up via Technic pins to the other sets within the line, and you can create that little sort of city theme and layout. Using some wedge plates as well here just to kind of break up the squareness of it all. I was going to show you the whole sort of bottom once it was finished, but there's only actually a few parts left from this bag, so I'll actually just finish these last couple of bits off because there's a wee bit more detailing that goes in here as well. So I'll add that all in first, and then I'll just share sort of my progress at that point. I think that goes like that. I hope it does. So we're using our blue, put that nice layer of blue plate down there, it's all covered up now. It's kind of redundant. I'm not sure if it's quite right. I don't think it is. And I've got a few wedge places. Plates and stuff going in here as well, so I think it's just a wee bit of rock work and stuff then, or the foundations of that are going in around a little section here. Again, I'm sitting here trying to guess what it all is, but it will become apparent, no doubt, once we actually sort of finish. I didn't think that was right. Just put that wee piece too far down. Yeah, it'll be apparent very quickly, I expect, what this is meant to represent once we actually finish it. And this one. Forgot to put this piece goes back here, so we're not too bad. Missed that one completely. Right, and again, just a few wedges and these modified 1x2 plates with a little wedge end on them. So again, this is all just going in to create presumably little bits of kind of rock work and stuff. Hey Madness, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, man. So just pop these all in place, and then that is us finished with the first couple of sections. Living the dream, good to hear, mate. You could argue I'm probably living the dream as well, given sort of what I'm sitting here doing on Monday afternoon. But I'm good, thank you. Yeah, all good. Pretty low key weekend. Starting slowly with Lego build. Right, okay, so that's the end of. Essentially section 1 or bag 1, so it's just building up this, I call it the base plate, it's building up the base on top of the base plate really. So you can just see there's a whole lot of brickwork and plate work then, and that just sort of creates the foundations for the whole section to be built up on. Which takes us on to bag number 2. Bag number 2, just one bag actually. Another rather interesting piece, which I'll grab in a second. So yeah, we're going to be doing a whole lot of tie work here. Presumably tying off this whole water section that we created. Don't be silly, man. I am not super proactive with doing anything. I talked about it. No, I haven't really had much of a chance actually to do anything like that. I had a relatively busy sort of non-Lego focused weekend, and yeah, I've just been getting by, to be honest. So no, I will eventually. I have absolutely noted your advice. I've taken it on board, and I will endeavour at some point to pull my finger out. I've actually been trying to sort of rebrand as well for quite a while, and I started sort of designing my new sort of Instagram and YouTube logo, and it has made it no further than like half a digital image, and that was weeks ago. I'm super naff at doing things. Really, I need someone to do all that stuff for me. And to be honest, I'm like really hooked on FIFA at the minute. And when I get a spare second, I just jump straight onto that. And I'm playing away at that, so. Yeah, I know, I was kind of hoping that one of them would be like a digital whiz. But at this point, it's not looking terribly optimistic. Maybe whenever they're doing like a school project, their school project can be rebranding services. that would work for me. Right. So we're literally just lining up all these little 1x2 translucent light blue tiles. That just creates that nice water effect. Sorry, how smart kids are. Oh, I know, totally. But they're never smart in the things you want them to be smart in. They don't have a lot to learn though, that's for sure. And my two aren't really that young anymore. They're old enough, so they're perfectly capable of all sorts. Do you know what? I haven't played it in. Sorry, I hadn't played it in years and years and years. I used to be a big Pro Evo fan, but Pro Evo lost its way, didn't it? And I never really bothered with FIFA, but I have Game Pass and it's free on there, isn't it? So I downloaded it. I'm always playing like the year previous. So I'm playing 25 at the minute. Well, I kind of like to. I like to just start up. The manager career and just try and build a team of youth players that I've scouted. And then I get so drawn into that I just can't put it down. It's always, you sign a new wee player and you want to get him all trained up and you want to see what he looks like and how good he is, and I'm just super hooked on him at the minute. But I'll fall out of it at some point and I'll be me done with it for a while. Gaming it's meant to be a race, isn't it? But more often than not, it causes you more stress than it's worth. Oh crap! Oh, it's okay. Thought I made a balls up there, and I wasn't really sure how, but I haven't. We're all good. Wee wedge plates, so kind of alternates between just 2x1, 2x2 corner and 1x4 and 1x3 plates. But it uses some of the 2x2 kind of angular plates as well, and they're great because there's like a smooth section as well, and it just creates a nice sort of change of look, underneath the tiles, because you've got that area where there's no studs. Do you know, it's funny you should say that, because that's one of my major gripes is I'm clearly doing things the way I want to do it, and they keep coming up with these ludicrous what do you call it, every year you get your list of sort of requirements for what they expect you to do, and I keep getting all these stupid ones about buying players from South America and all that done, and I just end up having to load up a load of crap players they don't want just to keep them happy, even though I'm absolutely rinsing everyone everywhere. So it's a bit naff the way it works in some areas, but there's FIFA, it's what you expect. I used to be super obsessed with Footy Manager, but I kind of managed to shake it, thankfully. So this just sort of scratches my itch in the short term, I don't really get the chance to game anywhere near as much as I used to. Once you sort of bring kids in the equation, then time is at a premium, and you've got tons of Lego to be building as well, so. Okay, that's all the tile work done then. Again, I don't suppose it's terribly easy for you to kind of see what's going on there. It might sort of show up a little bit better now because the tiles will sort of lift the light a little bit there, but you can just see that nice sort of water effect the whole way around. Sorry, I'm swinging this like an otter. You can see the water effect the whole way around there. And just the different colours that you're getting through, from the plates underneath, and it looks class. Here's a piece I've never used before. What have we got in here? Some interesting part usage going on here, I think. Okay. So we've got some bits of weaponry here in green of all colours, but they're being used here in this section of the build, presumably as foliage within the water. So just to try and show you what we've got here. It's kind of like I don't really know what you call this in terms of a weapon, but you see there it's got like a blade on either side, and then if I hold it in the middle and it does its magic. So yeah, so they're kind of being used within this build as foliage in the water, which is quite good. Nice part usage. Yeah, as Mama says, folks, get hitting that like button there if you're watching. You don't even have to like it, you just gotta hit the like button. No, but it would be very much appreciated. And if you're a fan of Ninjago and you want to see this build through its completion, it's not getting finished today. You're going to have to tune back in at another point. So drop us a wee sub as well, and you'll get a notification the next time I'm on streaming, and you can sort of carry on watching. Right, so I think we're building. That's quite an interesting section at the minute. So, oh yeah, when you're on your phone, yeah, double tap the screen. That's a good shout. I didn't even. What do you know? What? I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't even aware that worked. I'm such a noob. Oh well. This is why madness is here. Not to bring madness to things, but to bring a sense of sense, whatever. So yeah, we're using another interesting piece here. I don't know. Again, I presume this is a Technic piece. I don't even really. I don't even know what you would call it, but it's kind of like bars and grooves. It looks like it's kind of for maybe channeling maybe pistons along or something. I don't know. Really not sure what it is, but it's a very interesting piece anyway, and we're kind of building up on that at the minute. Yeah. Well, I hope it's ironic, otherwise you're going to bring me all sorts of pain. Yeah, so this is kind of almost like a pillar in one corner of this set, which sort of acts as a support for the upper layer, and that's presumably what we're building now. We've got lots of these nice sort of trans pink studs and bricks in here as well, just to bring out a real pop of colour. I've done something wrong. Sorry. There we go. We're fine. We're all good. And then we clip those in the end. So this then slides. Oh, in there. Oh wow. Okay. Doesn't sit in flush though. Is that right? Should it sit in flush? No, I'm struggling with this. 1 second. Oh, there we go. There's a wee clip. Ah, oh, brilliant. Oh, very good. Right. Okay. So we I don't know this for channel. No, I don't really bother with much. You know, I'm just so sort of blasé about the whole thing. I'm like at a funny stage where I'm kind of semi-invested and semi-not. So I'm actually contemplating sort of improving my equipment at the minute and getting myself uh, a new like a wee gimbal and a microphone and things like that. But then every now and again I think to myself, but do I really want to spend money, because I don't know how how long I'll sort of keep going, you know. At the minute I'm just, well, I don't mind like the live streaming, I quite enjoy it, to be honest. And I've got like a little I've got a wee short series that I'm doing at the minute as well, and I don't kind of mind that, but I'm not exactly a rampant producer of content, you see, and I just have a load of stuff pre-recorded and I'm kind of just working my way through it all at the minute. But when that's all finished, I don't know, you know, how committed I'll be to regular content, so I'm kind of just winging it at the minute, to be honest. You know, if things go well, things go well. If not, then it's not like I've sort of invested too much into it, but I suppose as time goes by I might sort of look into being a bit more kind of ambitious, I suppose. I do have so much stuff within my inventory that I could theoretically use as competition prizes and stuff like that as well, but I just haven't really processed the idea of anything yet. Again, like I'm sort of leading a charmed life at the minute because I have my own business, I have a member of staff that's helping, and as long as he's there, I only work 4 days a week, you know, so I have Mondays and Tuesdays off alongside Sunday, so I have a good bit of time, you know, to myself at the minute, you know, which is a bit of a luxury. But the chap that actually works for us is leaving to start his own business very soon, and when that happens, then I'll be back to, you know, 5 days a week, and I know that's only one extra day, and I know that's what everyone does, but that one day is crucial, because I have one day where I have, you know, I'm essentially doing nothing, and I can sort of be creative with content and stuff like that, you know, and do these streams and all that sort of jazz. So my other concern is just how much time I'll have going forward, you know, whenever we get to that stage, but we'll see. I run a couple of DC channels from old games I played, and dozens will advertise here. Oh, lovely, mate, thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, my only fear as well with Discord is that, you know, it's sort of, in order for the channel to run well, you need to be actively sort of interacting and pushing stuff through and stuff like that. And I know what I'm like. I really, you know, I kind of get invested in something for a short period of time and then I just lose interest. So I don't want to sort of end up like that. But obviously, if it does come about, I will let you know, and I would massively appreciate you doing me a solid. So this is a pretty funky piece of kit we're setting up here. So at the minute we're just working off of that odd Technic piece, and I suppose building it up to look less like a big random lump of Technic Lego and more like a coherent piece of the Ninjago infrastructure. So obviously Ninjago is pretty busy, and it's all sort of neon lighty and things like that, and it's quite colourful. It's very, very sort of almost quite cyberpunky in a way as well, isn't it? Not entirely, but a little bit. You know, so we've gone from, I don't remember if you recall that past thing we had earlier, but we now have this. It has the cool translucent pink lights running through it. It has this nice sort of dark red banner running down the front of it, filling in all the holes and gaps, and now we're just building up the ends and stuff as well. So it's kind of looking the part. We've done a really good job sort of, you know, building it up into a coherent, interesting looking structure. you've got a good amount of progress on it. Yeah, I'm getting there. Lego motion, I am getting there. I'm talking a wee bit, which, as I said, slows me down, but we're not doing too bad. The section that I'm doing at the minute, to be fair, is a little bit sort of footery, and it's a little less straightforward, so it's kind of slowed me down a little bit here, but the end result's pretty awesome. So we've got some more super funky bits here. Again, I'm not even going to pretend to know what they are, but do you know what it sort of all reminds me of? Something you'd expect to see on like if there's any botanical fans out, or not botanical, bionicle fans out there. It's very akin to, you know, some of the elements used within the Lego bionicle sets. So I don't know exactly what they are, but they're not on like at all. I've got one piece left over here, which I'm reasonably confident it should not be. Now, if it doesn't get placed in here, then drat. Where should that have gone? I remember placing one of them. And that was kind of in the middle of the structure. I have no recollection of the second one being called for. So there's one. It's just not a piece that would ordinarily be left over, but there's not any called for another one here. I definitely did put the one in, didn't I? Can't see it now anyway, but I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, it did. Okay, I don't know. So I've got a piece left over there. Yeah, a piece left over that probably shouldn't be there, but I can't see anywhere that it's meant to be, so I'm just going to accept that as a bonus extra piece and say nothing. So then we just need to place this into its little section within the build. So where does it go? Where does it go? It goes here. Okay, yeah, we've got these forward facing studs on the 1x1x2 or 1 3/4 bricks. Yeah, 1 3/4, and then this is kind of built with the studs not on top. It's using a wee bit of a snot technique, so we've got the anti-studs in the bottom, and then that just slides into that there. Sits in place, and then there we've got our nice sort of pillar that the upper section then will be resting on. So that's good, and that's the end of bag number 2. So we're getting through it very slowly, but we're getting there. We've got bag 3 here, and bag 4 looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to set them up here for now because they're quite small bags, but they're absolutely full of tiny pieces. Lego Motion, the reason why my name has Lego in it, because I'm going to film Lego videos on it. Oh, that's cool. I love Lego stop motion. There's some channels out there that produce some amazing content. I think it's a really, really fun medium for stop motion too. So it'll be cool. I look forward to seeing that there. You'll have to let us know when you're producing. Right, so we've got our first sort of proper minifigure here. I think these guys all have names. Let me see if it's on top of the box. Yeah, they do. So we've got Urban J. So, like I said, I don't really know much about Ninjago. I know J is one of the characters, but I don't know much about him. Here we have Urban J. So this is obviously him out of his ninja gear and in his civvies, just hanging out somewhere within the gardens. So I'll bring him over here, let you have a little look at him. There's not a huge amount going on printing wise, but he's got a nice wee jacket on with a couple of cool wee badges. So I'll show you that in a bit more detail. Here we go. So there is Urban J. So just dark blue trousers, no printing on either side or on the legs anywhere. And then we've got this, the torso is a nice little sort of blue and yellow jacket, a blue jacket with like a yellow stripe through it. He's got those couple of little stickers there with the can't get it to focus, the lightning strike and the little smiley face. And then he's got the zips are open. He's got a wee sort of light bluish sort of vest underneath. And then we've got this kind of quizzical smile, maybe a nervous smile on one side, and a wee bit of a frown on the back. And then the torso, the yellow band is continued along the back with a bit of creasing. And then he has pretty nice kind of tossed brown hair then. That's our first minifigure then. I'll just pop him there for now, and then he will take a spot somewhere within the layout soon. I've got our first sticker coming up, and this is where I'm super torn. I don't know if I'm going to put the stickers on or not at this point. So it is internal detailing. I'm always so torn on what to do when it comes to stickers. Anyway, I'll start building, and we'll see kind of what happens. So in this little section over here then. Like at the end of the day, I can always remove these pieces at some point in the future and put the stickers on if I want to, but I don't know, I'm not sure what way to approach it yet. I just got this little grey box here. It has like a translucent green tile in it, and then with a little blue lid, and then there should be a sticker that goes on. So I'm just going to have a look at the sticker and see what it is. So sticker number 14, which is on the first book, and it is, oh gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure what that represents. Obviously it's all in Ninjago language, so I need to translate that. Let's do it. I'm not going to sit and translate all these stickers, but I'll do this one now just as a matter of interest. So what have we got? The Viva score underneath it. I've got it upside down. So R, and then like a sort of X. This isn't as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. So we've got like a cross here. Oh, A. R, A. And where is that bad boy? S. R, A, S. Like an upside down tree. T. R, A, S, T, E. R, rester. No, that's the wrong way around. Tester. So it says tester on it. And then T, what's that there? T, oh, EGG, tester egg. So the sticker says tester egg, whatever that's supposed to mean. But I'm not going to put it on at this point in time. It can go in at another point if I so wish. I've just made the call right here, right now. I don't want to leave all the stickers off this set. So that'll obviously speed the build up quite considerably. I'll see as I'm going along. If some of them sort of bring a level of detail that you're kind of missing out on by not having them, then I'll maybe consider sort of adding them in. But for now, my intention is to just leave the stickers off. So it's like a little, I presume there's going to be a trapdoor or some sort of access down into this section. So we've got this little box with a tester egg in it. There's got what is presumably some gold. We've got some little ingots, gold and silver ingots. There's a little gold sort of figure or statue, and then we have some little green daggers in here as well. So someone's obviously hiding some bits and pieces in underneath in this section. I suppose as we build up, we should become more aware as to what that is. So first up, a wee staircase then. And we're just starting to add some detail then over in the far side here. ingot pieces here, all in silver. But yeah, there's a couple of the 1x4 plates with the studs on either side, which are generally used whenever there is a removable section. So I presume there's going to be a layer of plate or something that sits across the top of this, and then just when it's on those jumpers, it's kind of easily enough removed, isn't it? And then we will, someone, perhaps it's Jay's spot, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is where he hangs out. Because I don't know, I haven't seen Ninjago, any of the Ninjago TV shows, movies, series, anything. So I have no kind of reference material at all here. Right, got a wee pink frog then sitting down in front there. And then just a bit more plate work. So we're just basically starting to plate up then all of the foundation bricks that we put down just to create that bed on which we can start properly building. Not made quite as much progress as I thought it would have. Just realised how long the stream's been running for already, and we're not really that far through. Oh, I missed a few parts. Getting ahead of myself here. There's a wee section over here that was meant to be built up, which I haven't done. That makes more sense. And then we just go on like this. And that goes there. Okay, we're back. Switching over to a different area. So again, there's obviously another little. Yes, this is the wee area which we've been working on previously that has the piping in it, and again, it's looks like it's just being initially covered over with some plates that can be removed because we just have the jumpers on top. Then that allow that sort of easier access in below. So there's obviously a wee bit more storytelling going on with this pipework here. Little sort of stairs everywhere. It's very it's very well designed and laid out, to be honest. And there's very clear sort of access points, and walkways throughout the set, and it's all very sort of neatly sort of put together with little kind of stairways to help you sort of get up and down the different levels. Okay, and now we have. So we're using this. I think the piece initially was designed, for the superheroes they were kind of shooting out bolts of whatever it was like blue plasma or something. We're using that, and then that clips in. There's a wee bar in here that we can clip into somehow. Oh, there we are. And now, oh, that's brilliant. That looks so good. I'll actually take it out as well, just so you can see. So what we have there is, you know, just that little kind of piece that is meant to sort of be held by a minifigure, and it's almost like a blast coming from their hand. And then one of the black droid arms. And that little section that we created earlier, which looked like sewage. There's a wee bar in there, and whenever you connect the droid arm in there, it's quite hard to see, but it just looks like water then coming out of that sewage pipe, just splashing out. So that's very cool. Really well done. All right. Oh, still a few pieces to go on here. Miss that bit there. Right, and now we're just going to finish off the plate work here. And again, just to use a few different elements to sort of create slightly different textures and a bit of variation throughout. Otherwise, it'd be a big sort of long grey surface, really. So there's these 4x4 plates with the 4 studs on one side. So you still have studs there to utilise, but you also get that nice smooth surface. And we have some 2x3 jumpers, just some straightforward plates of various sizes. And then we also have some of the little gold bar elements in there as well, and that just creates another sort of different texture. So it's very nice the way they've done it. Also have some angled plates going in as well for good measure, and some of the little quarter corner tile pieces as well, and that just creates that impression, I suppose, of a wee bit of a break in the tarmac or something like that, or not the tarmac, in the actual ground, concrete ground, whatever it is, whatever the surface is. So again, lots of nice little details, you know, that just add a little bit of variety to the actual sort of look and finish. These are all the wee details that really sort of set these sets apart. Let's finish it off with a nice wee cornered section. This finishes off this bag actually, and takes us up to bag 4. What am I missing here? Oh, no, we're okay. I'll have to actually build this piece up and be inside. So that. And this wee rounded piece goes on here. That just sits in there and gives you that nice rounded edge. Okay, so that is the end of bag 3 then, and just brings a wee bit more substance to the actual base of the building. So you can see there then that we've just added this whole section here. Then we've got to put this pillar in. We've added all of this section and it's all been sort of floored off now. We've got some stairways now starting to lead to different parts of the building, and we're creating these wee sort of under sections that are obviously accessible from underneath as well. So it's looking good. So we'll move on to bag 4. So two bags for bag 4 then. A lot of it is this part here. So we're going to pretty much finish off the water in this section of the build anyway. There is another wee section that adds on the side of it with adding a lot more water, but this will finish this little area anyway, which will be good. So I'll just start off then, and I'll work my way through this as quickly as I can, but it might be a wee bit quieter what I'm doing. I'll just concentrate on making sure I have these all in kind of in the right layout. So something that I'm semi-dreading doing whenever it comes to my own layout, because I do sort of anticipate there being a lot of water in my layout, and there's going to be a lot of placement of these little 2x tiles. I have seen an alternative brick manufacturer that does a translucent 16 by 16 plates, which obviously would massively speed up the process, but I don't know if I want to use them or not. I'm not sure exactly how they'll look. But I will have a lot of water to do. I want to have like a coastal area, docks. I do want to have like rivers and ponds and the like sort of run throughout my layout. So there's going to be a lot of placement of tiles and stuff like that. So if there's anything that can make that a little less tedious, it wouldn't be such a bad thing, or speed the process up even, or make it a little less costly, because obviously there's a lot of these little tiles that you have to supply, like without a shadow of a doubt, thousands of them. We're just in this section alone here, there's what have we got here? 23, 45, 69, 80, 108, 125 just in this little section here of these parts, so you go through them very quickly, and like they don't give you a huge amount of coverage without sort of an investment in a lot of them. So yeah, I don't know kind of what the best way to approach the water in that regard is. I like this technique. I sort of like the effect that you get from it. Using the colour place underneath, and then applying these translucent tiles over the top, because you still get that kind of blueness that you expect from water, but then it pulls through sort of colour from underneath, sort of adding depth or dirt, or maybe there's plant life underneath, and it just kind of really showcases stuff like that. So it is a really good way to go about it. There we go. So again, some nice angled bricks going in here, which takes away from the squareness of it all. So we've got like a nice curved corner in the front here, going around here, and then this is sort of angled, creating like a bit of a curve on this internal section as well. Now you're sort of getting a good idea of the layout of the gardens. We've got this section here where there's water and some sort of I think there's a tree maybe growing in this little sort of island section, and then we've got the water on the outside, and then it's like an L shape almost, which houses all the different sections of the gardens themselves. laying the tiles. What other people think of these sort of sections of builds? Do you enjoy kind of the repetition of it, the just, you know, placing the tiles over and over, or do you find it a bit sort of tedious or anything? I don't mind it, personally. I think it's nice because, you know, it's quite transformative. You know, you work from, you know, having, you know, just a whole load of plate in place, and then you just sit and lay these tiles, and you step back and have a look at it, and you're like, oh wow, look at it, I've done that fast. You know, so I think it's good in that regard. But no doubt I'm gonna need thousands of this part. I do have a lot, to be fair, in my inventory, so I'm not kind of wanting, but I don't think I've really considered exactly how many I'm going to need. Another two of the wee green flower pieces then going in here. So where are they? One there, I think, and then one here. We'll do this wee section here first, then 1, 2, 3. And then we have that there. I think the rest are all. But just like, sorry, I'm sort of just having to talk myself through the process of laying these, because some go horizontal, some go kind of vertically, and I like to lay all of, say, the horizontal ones first, and then I know that everything left to go in goes in the one way, but I've made a mistake. I definitely made a mistake. Oh no, I've missed an actual piece, have I? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got. Okay. That's where I've gone wrong. So that should be there. That should be there. There we go. Easy done. Easy fix. This is why you sort of need to concentrate a wee bit, because it's very easy to put these in wrong, and the problem with these wee tiles is when you put them in wrong, it can be increasingly difficult to get out, you know, the more parts you actually place. And there's a wee ladder there providing access just down to the water. So presumably we do have a boat, a little boat that operates in one of the other sets the docks. There's a nice wee boat in the dock, so this just presumably is an additional channel that I can run around. We're almost done, almost finished. Now one more of these wee flowers to go in, that goes there. So I'll do all the ones that sit horizontal first. 3 there. One there. One there. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, just the last few tiles going in here now. And that'll be the end of all our water, and now we're just putting a bit of sort of greenery and foliage in, so we're just building up this little interestingly, I'm missing one of those pieces. Can't be. I can't put one in the wrong place, surely. Well, man. How's that come about? What have I done wrong? So I'm missing one 1x2 plate here. I'm not really sure how. There was nothing else went into that section aside those little flowers. Oh, hold on, there we go. It's hiding in the manual. Haha. Very good, very good. Right. And then we're just building up this little island now as well. So we put a bit of rock work in initially. That's the sort of green layer down then. Some interesting little constructions here. So I don't know what these represent, if they're like wee pillars or wee beacons or what. We've got these little sort of structures here. That's what they look like there. So it's just using a couple of little elements, and they sit in these sort of pillar sections that were created previously. They look like they're meant to sit square, so I don't know if there'll be an additional function to these at some point, but we'll see when we come to that. So we're actually using we've got a minifigure hat here, a little grey minifigure, it's just a wee beanie hat. And we're placing a couple of studs up into the inside of it then, and it's being used as a little rock, which is a neat idea. And then we have just a wee bit of shrubbery going in here now, and this uses actually the little green sort of Wolverine claw elements. Now I thought these, would have been really useful for maybe building, putting grass into areas or something, but they're quite expensive to pick up. So much so that there's just no value in using them. It can become inherently expensive to try and create, a nice grassy area. So it's interesting to see them actually being used here. I think it sits. It looks a lot bigger. Oh, hold on. Turn around that way. There we go. Go there, and then we have a wee shrub then, and then that's kind of us finished with this section. Just nice wee bush, wee green bush with some pink flowers. And then, so we're just using one of the wee, it's like a wee 6-pronged sort of grass piece. And the flowers are just tossed to the wee 3-leaf pieces, and then they get sort of touched, or not touched, added in sort of throughout that little prong, and it just creates like a nice wee quite a full looking little sort of pink rose bush type thing. It's very natural looking. So there we go, that's kind of the little bush thing, so it's quite nice. And that just sits atop a wee jumper we have here. A few spare pieces again, I'll move into this side, and that takes us on to our next bag. So that's up to page 66 now in the instructions, in the first of the 3 manuals anyway. We're moving on to book 5, which is going to build, or not book 5, bag 5, it's going to build a tree. So I suspect this will be the last section of the build that I do today, and it'll be a nice place to stop because it'll just add a wee bit of verticality to the build. Drop the piece on me, I can't work it right now. Yeah, just had a wee bit more verticality to the build. It's all very flat at the minute, with it being still very much foundational. I'll hold this up now, let you have a look at where we're up to as well. So that's what we've got built so far. So you can see it's all sort of nicely sort of finished now anyway. You've got all of the sort of area that the builds are going to go onto. You've got this nice little sort of lake area here in the corner with the little island and a bit of sort of shrubbery and greenery and stuff on it. And I think that's where the tree's going to go next as well. And just a bit more kind of using a few more of these green weapon elements then to add a few more sort of interesting sort of plant elements. It's just a very novel way to sort of create plants. So just using these bamboo pieces, and there's almost like a green katana, and that just sits in the corner, and it looks alright. And then we've got like a scythe and a sword and all sorts here, but they're all in green, and I suppose for the most part when you see them in place like that, they do very much just look like bits of plant life and stuff like that. We also have our next minifigure here. So it's a lady. It's a Naya, urban Naya. So she is sporting a nice black leather jacket with a wee stripy t-shirt underneath. She's got like a standard blue trousers and a couple of different faces there as well, and then a nice sort of high ponytail black hair. So pop her down there with the urban what do you call them? J. And then we'll get on with the build. So just a wee bit more detail going in here. So first thing, we've got like a little table going into the middle. It has, I don't know if it's like a little lantern or something on it, or I'm not sure exactly what it represents. But that just pops into the middle of the table anyway. And then that just sits, there's just a little stud, anti-stud here that sits into. And then we're out just a wee bit more sort of greenery around the side as well. Just fills it out a wee bit better as well, and probably camouflages those weapons a little bit more as well. They're a little less obvious. Right, so now we have, I'm just going to have to make sure that this is sitting exactly as per the instructions, because it's been very sort of specific in how it wants you to put these in. I think it wants it that way. Or something going in here, so just I don't know if this is like a to the trunk coming out of the tree. I actually thought the tree was going on that island, but I don't think anything else goes on that island. I think that's it finished. It's just that little sort of bonsai style tree and the wee bush perhaps. It's not super clear where that's meant to go. I think that's right. Again, it's just adding a wee bit more detail sort of around the edges of the water too, with a few wee shrubs and plants going in and things like that. And again, on this side we've got the next of our scythe being used. And that just sort of creates a wee plant that goes out around this wee wooden structure we have here. And then presumably the base of our tree going in here. Don't know if it matters exactly how this goes. I'm suggesting it needs to be something's not quite adding up here for me. There we go. Got it, we're good. Couple of wee brown bits in. So that's obviously the base of the trunk then, and that's held in place using some Technic work. Got some pins and these round Technic pieces. My gut feeling is another one's eventually going to go in on top, but I think we're creating like a central core for the tree first. So it should be quite sort of strong structurally anyway. That goes down in the middle, and then we've a wee bar then is going across the front of the tree, so I presume that's just to protect the tree from people. There we go. And then we're using our sword again. The latest of our green swords then is going in there, just adding a little bit more detail and just another creative use of a sword. And then the final one has this big sort of palm element attached to it, and that just sits on there. Owen the Lego Master says greetings. Hi Owen, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. We're deep into this build here, making great progress, I think. It's a very cool set, I must say. We're just working on the tree here now, getting that all built up. It's got a good sort of solid core to it, and okay, no, so there's a little bench then going on the side of the tree, so that's quite cool. I like that. That's a nice wee feature. So a bar that runs across. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate it. I really do. Just as well you like the accent, because there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the sub. Sorry, just focusing here for 1 wee second. And then I'll be back with you. Righty-ho. I think we're good. Just want to get this wee seat here that I'm just building. It sits down on the front here, and it's quite neatly built. There we go. And I think then that's somewhere for Urban Jet Set. Oh, and yeah, thank you very much for the sub. What? How's your day going, man? Hope you're good. And what's your Lego preferences? Oh, that's amazing, mate. Thank you. I do appreciate that. You know, people do a lot more work for me than I do for me, so yeah, I am almost finished now, I must say, but even still, not as fast if you do that, that's good. What's your Discord server? I can't work out how these are meant to go. This is really, really annoying me. I'm going to say it like this. That looks close enough. Okay, so we've got some, I was going to say roots, but the trees went upwards, so they're definitely not roots, so presumably these are branches that we're creating at the moment. Yeah, I'm almost finished for the day to be honest with you, but I'll usually stream again tomorrow, but I have to work tomorrow, so I'll be back on Wednesday streaming again, same sort of time, so. Oh, these are roots, okay, yeah. Very interesting build. Yeah, no, I'll have a wee look for you once I finish up on here, definitely. Oh, I've done something wrong, this isn't quite sitting right at all. Oh, bummer, right, how do I fix this? Oh, hold on, no, I can make it right, these twists, I'm being stupid. So if I do that, turn that like that, and turn, that's meant to go down there, and let's go down like so. Oh, I'm breaking pieces now as well. What is going on here? Right, I think that's it done now. Looks good enough. I hate sections like that. It's quite hard sometimes in the instructions to make out exactly what's going on. But I think we're good. I think we're okay. It's a pretty epic tree design, to be honest, and it's designed in such a way where it actually goes through the platform above. So you kind of got, you know, the tree coming out underneath the platform, and then the platform's sort of built around the tree, and then you have more tree then above the platform, so it's pretty good design. That doesn't really sit terribly well in there. But that's definitely how it's meant to be, so I'll just leave it. Actually paying attention to what I'm doing here. Right, so this piece here goes in like so. I think that's lining up right. It's kind of hard to tell if I'm actually angling these pieces right, but I think they are. My fear is that if they're not right, then you go to do this section at the top and it's not going to quite work, and then we'll have to revert all the way back and redo this section, but I can't really see an alternative way to do it, so I'm just going to roll with it and hope for the best. It's pretty substantial tree actually. More that down the centre, and then another one of these goes on to hold it all together. Come on, Stephen, think about it. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I'm still not entirely convinced that I've done this right, but I don't see an alternative way to do it, to be honest, so I'm going to presume that it is fine. And hopefully when we get further down the hill, it's not going to come back to bite me because I've put pieces in the wrong place. I don't really see any other way to do it, to be honest. There we go. Okay, so I presume that that section there is plated off because again it's sort of level with this pillar over here, this column over here, so I presume that the top section then is going to sit on this. Alright, and I've got a bit more greenery to go around the bottom of it. And that'll sort of also act to hold the roots kind of in place to a degree. And we have, where's that piece gone? Oh, it's falling, the bag's falling down. Need to organise the space a wee bit better. I spend the whole time here tripping over stuff. Okay, we have some of these, I don't really know what you call these, they're like almost like, no, they're clearly not bars because they're thin. I know I use the black ones as fencing, but they're almost like wires. In this case, they're kind of representing vine, so it just clips on here, or it should clip on here, and then it's twisting around the tree and down onto the side of the bench here. It's not easy to get it in, to be entirely honest with you. But we'll make it work. There we go. Okay, that's good. So we've got some nice wee sort of vine or branch or whatever you want. I don't really know how you best sort of describe it. But you've got that coin around the tree there, which just adds a wee bit of extra detail. Actually made a mistake. It's meant to go in underneath that there. Don't think it really matters. You've got a bit of freedom here, I suppose, in how you do this. Just however you think it best looks. It's not going to influence any other section of the build, but there we go. Okay, I've got a nice wee bird's nest here then, so let's get building our bird's nest. So it kind of uses like the life preserver piece in brown, and then a wee bird just sits in underneath it. here. I don't ever recall seeing this colour before. Certainly not one that I have in my collection. I don't even know how to describe it. I'll show you in a second. So the wee birdie goes on over here then. Yeah, so we've got like just this sort of standard lime green here, and then we've got this kind of lighter, sort of almost like a whitey green. I don't really know how best to describe it, but it's just quite nice. I'd say it's not one that I've encountered much within my collection, but it's nice. Just finishing off kind of the branch work here on the tree. I'm not sure if I'll have time to do anything more today or not. I'll see, I'll have a look at the next bag and to see how big it is. If there's too much going on, then I'm probably going to have to set it aside, but we'll see. And then this just goes up in here. Like so. So we've got kind of that at the minute, and then we have it's not exactly the same. Just said ×2, but it feels like it's exactly the same. I always have to, you see these sections here, I have to concentrate so hard on them. I always get confused with the sort of directions of the leaf pieces and stuff sometimes, whatever way they're presented. I so often put them on the wrong way or turn them the wrong direction. I always find it really hard to sort of properly align the way they're meant to go, so I'm just a wee bit distracted as I try to concentrate on actually putting them in the right place here. Right, I think we're good. I got those two sections done, and then these obviously just clip on to the tree like so. And like so. Right, and that finishes then bag number, what bag are we on? Bag number 5. So, just to give you a wee bit of perspective then, so that's where we're up to then. So we built basically that tree in that bag, and then there's also that little table then that's sitting underneath the tree, and then you can also see that little bench there. So I don't know, let's set our first 2 figures in underneath there. So maybe we'll call them Jay and Naya. We're going on a wee date, and Jay's brought her a wee set of flowers, and there we have them. They're just sitting in underneath the tree, all nice and romantic, looking great. And then obviously that's that wee section out the rear that we've done previously. So yeah, bag 6 then. Come on, let's do bag 6, and then we'll wrap it up there, and we'll get this open quickly. So sort of adding our first little building into the mix. There do seem to be quite a few small pieces. One of them just, a couple of them have just gone for a wee wander there. Nice really zebras to open these bags. We also have our next mini figure. He looks like a very charming chap. Set them there. So who do we have here? Ronan. Again, I know nothing about Ninjago, so I don't know who Ronan is. So you'll have to cut me a wee bit of slack there. Pretty cool printing on the torso and on the front of the legs. So he's obviously wearing some sort of a suit. He also has like a wee bandana on, and then he has printing just the front of his face. He has a pretty gruff beard. He's pretty stubbly, and then he's got like an eyepiece on, and then he's got some sort of long red hair. So that's him anyway. Then just so you can see him a wee bit better. And then, like I said, some printing into the rear as well. But that's the only printing. The printing's just on the rear of the torso, nothing on the head or on the legs. And we'll just pop him there, and then we'll get building. So we'll try and get this built sort of as quickly as possible then, and I think that'll be a good place to sort of wrap it up. Just nice to get a structure in place within the set as well. Just to give it a bit more interest. It is all very much sort of basic at the minute. So we've got that. Burn ingot pieces. And I need one more of these wee quarter corners, but they're pretty, oh, there we go. I think they're pretty quite loose, so there should be quite a few of them in here, but we're going to find them. Okay. So it looks like we're building like a wee unit or something here then. I don't know if this is like Ronan's pad then. I presume it is. Again, like I said, I don't know anything about Ronan. If anyone in the stream at the minute could give me a wee bit of a heads up in the chat as to who these characters are, or a wee bit more detail about them, then that'll be class. If you don't know, then that's fair. Gotta be a Ninjago fan in there somewhere. That can enlighten me a wee bit as to who and what Ronan is. And remember, guys, anyone that is in there at the minute, give us what you like. Double tap that screen rather, or hit that thumbs up and give the stream a wee bit of support. I'd really appreciate it. So I think this looks like a wee, I don't know, maybe like a wee shop or something here maybe. We'll sort of present this up a bit more as we get a little bit more through the build. So it's nice we sort of like cabinetry here that we're building up, and what appears to be a set of scales. I don't know if this is maybe some sort of a little shop perhaps, or what we have going on. Like I said, I don't know much about Ronan's background, so that just sits atop that little black unit there. So there's just a wee quick view of what we've built so far. So just the start of what is presumably Ronan's hut, and it's just a nice wee build so far with nice wee cabinets, some drawers, a wee set of scales, and whatever else. And we're just adding a wee bit of sort of detail into the top of the cabinet here as well, which is nice. At the very end, I'll bring before I'm sort of going off the stream, I'll bring the camera down just so you can see a little bit closer kind of what we're actually building, what we've done up to this point and how the set's looking. So if you do want to see a little bit more up close, I will get there for you. We've a couple more stickers here, but as per before, I am not putting them on. I'm just withholding all the stickers in the set for now. I'll approach it again at some point and consider maybe putting them in. I don't know. There's just bars on that wee sort of fence piece that was in behind, which has kind of presented a nice sort of opportunity for like a wee sort of bookshelf, a few wee books sitting on it as well. Just a few wee injection marks in the sort of outside of those wee purple clips, which is a bit sort of off-putting, but there's a very sort of detail-rich little section here. There's a lot going on in this little hut. Lots of kind of rather ornate-looking pieces and goblets and some stuff coming out of them. Not sure what this represents. Maybe a quill and an ink well or something. I don't know. Okay, and here's the trapdoor then. So that little section that we had discussed earlier was presumably underneath Ronan's little pad, where he's hiding money and weaponry and other bits and pieces. So Ronan's either a shady character or a very untrusting character, I don't know. But he's got himself a little area underneath his hut with some of his more regarded belongings. One of these bags in full of tools in here as well, because I'm using one of the little tool pieces to hold a flower. So what is it? Okay, like a little wrench. So we're just using the wee silver wrench. It has a little flower in it, and it goes into the wall then as well. So it's just building up this, just kind of building up a section of wall on its own here, sort of separate from the rest of the build. I've done that back to front, haven't I? Okay. And then with another sticker going on there, but as with before, I'm just going to leave the sticker off for the time being. That goes in beside the door. interesting little build here. So this is obviously where the room keeps its disguises. So we've essentially got a blank minifigure head, a moustache, and a top hat just for sitting in the corner here. Right, and then the blue section runs across the top of the roof, which is holding some interesting paraphernalia. Got these awesome kind of tiger or dragon head pieces then that sort of come out the side. Just add again some nice detail to the side of the building. And that goes across the front and connects that all up together. And again, all these wee builds that go in, they're all sort of built in a modular fashion, so you know, you can slot them in and remove them. You know, they all lift out very easy from whatever section you put them into. Okay. Just a wee bit of tightening around the top, because again, like I said, these little buildings are all sort of built in a modular fashion. So this will just sort of slot in to the little area here, and again, it's very easy to remove. And then everything on top will be built in a similar fashion, so it's all just kind of built up with like jumpers and stuff like that, you know. So so that you can easily lift sort of buildings off or add stuff in and the like. So that's kind of the wee hut we've got built up so far. But again, like I said, once I've kind of finished this bag, I'll bring the camera down. I'm going to look at this in just a little bit more detail, because I appreciate it's quite hard to kind of see from here. Leaving out another sticker, so there's a sticker that just adds a wee bit of detail to the inside of the wall there, but as I mentioned previously, I'm just withholding stickers for the time being. I'll come back to it in the future and consider maybe adding them. Not really sure why I'm building it the way I have done, but that's kind of the way I've approached all the Ninjago sets that I personally have built myself. I've just always withheld the stickers. I know they add a lot of detail, but almost wrapped up for today. There's a few little pieces left to go on here, and then we're good. I think we've made some decent progress, to be honest. I've done a bit more than I anticipated. Slow enough progress. It's kind of the quickest of builds, to be honest. Sort of the way it's and the way it's structured, but we are getting there. I think a lot of time went into sort of the base, to be honest. Where does this go next? Yeah, a lot of time sort of required to get the foundations and the plates and everything onto the actual base of the build itself. Now we're sort of at the stage where we're starting to build up the layers and build up all the little huts then that kind of create the whole build, so it should in theory be a little bit quicker sort of from here on in. But again, it depends on the level of detail within each of these little builds as well. Sometimes some of these little sections are just full of small pieces and it does take a lot longer, you know, to pull them all together. Entirely sure what it is we're creating here, but a lot of hinges going on. Oh, okay. So that thing goes on there, and brilliant. So it's basically been designed in such a way as to create a bit of an angle on this building, so that it's not just a little sort of rectangular building. It's actually very neatly done, again with another sticker here. Apologies, I had a phone call coming through there. As I was saying then, so it was all being built. It's kind of hard to describe, but it was being built sort of like that there. So it didn't really look like anything. But then it attaches on to studs or bricks with there's brackets actually with studs on the side, which flips it around like this, and then all of a sudden you can see this little counter. So it's pretty good. And again, another sticker meant to be going on there, but again, I'm not going to put it on. And then that all comes around, and there's hinge pieces then on the other side, so it clips in, and then you get this nice. So instead of like a little square building, it actually ends up sort of being square, but then having a section of like a bit of an angle as well. I don't know how easy that is to see. Maybe easier to see from that sort of perspective there. So yes, pretty well done. I like that. And then it's just was a sort of decoration. What have we got here? So these are just lights. Just some nice wee lights then. We're going to hang from the side of the hut, which I'm breaking as a building. So that just goes on there, and then we've got one more of those to do. And that then, hold on a second. We've got a piece here that I definitely shouldn't have left over, so hopefully, hopefully it goes somewhere. missed. Oh, I know where that goes. About yeah, right, that goes in there. Let's go back and have a look. It seems I've actually. I feel like I've missed an entire section of the instructions here, to be honest. I feel like I've skipped an entire page. Because I've got loads of parts left over here that I arguably shouldn't have. But I have no idea where they go. I've got loads of wee wedge plates here. Too many of them. I would understand maybe one or two, but oh, hold on. Right, I know where they go. Right, okay. I need to. Damn it. Right, so I missed these wee wedges from these side panels here. So they kind of go just where the angle is being created, and then they sort of fill in the gap a wee bit better. I hadn't even noticed that, to be honest, at the time. There's one of them in. Yeah. They're quite foodery, these. Right, so there's that one in, but I also have a 2x4 plate. Now, I'm amazed if I'd be amazed if I meant to have a 2x4 plate left. Because that wouldn't be the case. So where on earth could that go? I have to go back through and see if I've missed any here very quickly, because this is the, oh hold on. No, they're definitely all there. 1, 2, so those two are there. Two here on the sides, but one. Yeah, so they are there. So that's them. And there's two going that bit there, so they're there. How can I have a 2x4 brick left? Where have I missed the 2x4 brick from? I'm gonna go back to the very start. Just to be 100%, the start of the bag, I mean. Is that where it's missing from? The very, very start? Mm-hmm. Oh, it is. There we go. It's missing from this little unit here. I did wonder, right enough, why. Well, that's not going to be easy to fix, to be honest. For goodness sake, it's so annoying. Right, bear with me. I thought it was finished, but turns out we're not quite there yet, because I made a baby. So let me just double check which order they go on. So yeah, when I was building the wee sort of dresser or chest of drawers, whatever you want to call it, I missed the 2x4 off of them. So that should go like that. Big one there. That's okay. It wasn't like in an integral spot, to be honest, so it wouldn't really have mattered that much. But whenever you actually look back at it, it didn't quite look right, to be fair. So I've also just noticed another piece that I have a lot of, which doesn't really make sense either. So I'm going to have to look at that too. Alright, so that one might slide in there, and now that's much better. Just need to try and get these back in again. They're a lot easier to put in when there wasn't walls all around the little hut. There we go. Now, where am I missing all of those bars from? Two of them. Where did they go? Did they go onto this? again, they're not structurally integral, they're just for design, so it's just sort of part of creating that little canopy there. That's okay. Right, that was just me not paying attention to what I was doing, so I'll pop that back in and curve that back around again, so that brick needs to go on, and then maybe just straighten that up a wee bit. The left side should be easier. Right, I think we're back in business. And then I believe that these are all legitimate spurs, so I'll just get rid of all of those then and pop them over in the spur pile. And that brings to a close today's film. So brilliant, we did quite well there today. We've got a good bit of progress made, so I think that then clips in like that there. And then you've got the wee trapdoor there, which lifts up, and you've got all his little this piece of it. So I'm going to go and grab the camera. I'll bring it over and let you have a look at this in a bit more detail, and then I'll be us finished for today. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a close-up then of the actual build itself. So obviously most of our time this morning was spent building up this base section here, or this afternoon rather. So we've got this nice little sort of watery section to the front, or to the middle of the set here. We've got this wee bonsai tree, a couple of wee statues, the beanie that's presenting as a hat, and then this wee bush. And then around here we've just got sort of, this is the first sort of foundation almost for a structure. And then if you look over here, if I lift that off, there we had sort of another one over there, but I'll show you that in a bit more detail in a wee second. We have this little section at the front here, where we've got the water coming out of the drain, or the sewage, which is pretty neat. We obviously built up this tree here, and we've got Naya and, forget their names, Jay and Naya just hanging out here underneath the tree. So we built this tree up anyway. There's going to be a section of the platform on top, and then the tree builds up further. And then just taking you around the front and side a little bit. So that's obviously just the hut there. So I presume that this belongs to Ronan, because we created the Ronan, or we did the Ronan minifigure with this section. And then you can see here, there's so within the hut, you can see this little trapdoor here, which lifts up. And in underneath, you can see some Ronan stash hiding in there then. And there's a wee bit more of a view kind of down inside. I'll turn this around so you can see most of the decent stuff's down in the back there. So you've got that wee bookcase and some wee details in the corner there. And then there's kind of that just wee angle section from the front. And then we'll just pop Ronan in. I don't know, stick him in there maybe. Can we get him to stand? There we go. So Ronan's just in there now, serving up whatever it is he does. But that's us for today anyway then, guys. So thank you very much anyone that joined in. Remember to like the stream if you enjoyed it. Give us a wee sub if you want to keep abreast of this build. And have a great evening. I'll catch you all.